Hello and welcome to episode 477 of the Daily Sales Message Podcast, where every single day I share a piece of simple, actionable advice. It's designed to help you feel more confident and sell more stuff too. Now, in today's episode, we're talking about the simple shift to the one thing that you can do to create a clear sales message, or to certainly add more clarity to your messaging for your business, product, or service. And it comes back to, quite simply, the problem. I was going to say two things then, but I've promised one thing, so I have to say to one thing. The problem that your buyer is facing. Can you actually explain and articulate the problem that you solve? It's a tricky one. It feels like you should. It feels like a flippant, obvious question. What's the problem you solve? Most people should be able to tell you, but they can't. They can't. Most people don't have that conciseness, that brevity, that accuracy of messaging. So think about what's the problem that you solve, and then talk about it in your messaging. That's it. Talk about it in your messaging, because that's how you're going to attract the right people to you, because they're going to identify and recognize the things that you're talking about. So for me, with Clear Sales Message, I use this notion of having a hard to explain offering. Hard to explain offering. It's one of the problems that I solve, so I use it in my messaging, and that brings people to me because they think, yeah, I do find it hard to explain my offering. Oh, look, this guy can fix that for me. There we go. If I just say, hey, would you like to buy a Clear Sales Message? They might not know, and I'm expecting them to connect the dots and make the leap. Whereas if I say, have you got a hard to explain offering, or do you find it hard to explain your offering? It's much easier for them to connect and identify with that. So add some clarity to your messaging today. Think about the problem or problems that you solve, and include them in your messaging, reference them, because that's how people will identify with you and ultimately then buy from you. Right, that's it for this episode of the podcast. Tomorrow, in episode 478. 478. I don't know who needs to hear this. But that's the title of tomorrow's episode, deliberately cryptic, to get you to come on back and listen to some more of my dulcet tones. So I look forward to welcoming you for tomorrow's episode. In the meantime, thank you for listening or watching all the way to the end. I do appreciate it. I'll catch you tomorrow for an interesting edition of the Daily Sales Message.